Attention, please. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Well, hello, everybody. It is Wednesday afternoon in the wet and wild North Carolina. It has been raining for like 5 or 6 days. This is not Seattle. I'm not a happy man. My grass has not been cut in over 2 weeks. It's pissing me off. Flood watch yesterday. Good Lord. So
yeah, it was.
I don't think we're supposed to have no rain until Tuesday. So...
But yeah, it's a rough one. I feel like I'm living up north, or maybe in London, with the showers. But man, we've got a big nasty storm that's just coming through.
That's right. It is not April. We do not need April showers in August. Graham was telling me it's bone dry up where he is in Buffalo. Hasn't rained in a while. They got some bees coming into the house and stuff. It's so dry out and stuff. It's like, damn it.
Yeah, I was talking to my friends and family up in Wisconsin, and they haven't had rain in 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, we've got it for you. This is not normal weather for here. So, that weather machine must be working overtime.
I know. I guess it is what it is. It is, it's that darn climate change. Otherwise the weather's changing. So we're just stuck with rain for a while. Let's say hi to Past Master Dan. He's alive. Dennis, maybe? I'm not sure who he's talking about. Randy Howell, hello. Thanks for popping links. There it is. Boom. Go back, Lilith. Go subscribe to my channel. And then let's see. He's always really good. And then there's Dennis's channel. Go subscribe to his as well, guys. JP Roca, let's go. I say let's go. Let's see. Aaron Sparrow should be joining us any moment now. Send him a message. He is on West Coast time. And it's funny. I said, I send the link and I said, pop on at 3:20. And now he knows it's East Coast from our previous conversation. And then at 3:20, he writes, like now? 12:20 my time, like now. And I wrote back when the intro was playing, now! Exclamation point. So you should be here any moment, I would assume. It's that darn time change. I mean, Dennis is 20 minutes from me, and if he puts his arm out the window, he'll technically be in South Carolina. No time change, though.
There is no time change.
Joe Lowe, hello. Headless Bourgeoisie. Yeah, I said it close enough. Tart Ninja, what's going down? He's our colorist, doing great work. That's right. We're at 16,237 backers for Lilith. So, guys, if you haven't backed yet, we'll be talking about it later. But since we're waiting for our guest, there is, like they say, no time like the present. And there we go. 16,500 bucks, 237 backers. Woo! I didn't want to do that right into the microphone since Dennis isn't sitting next to me like normal. He is quarantined at his house for the next month because he's on this fancy special diet. And when he comes over here, we always go out to dinner after. And for the next 4 weeks, that won't happen. I'm trying to hold it together.
I know, it's very sad.
It's so sad.
It's sad on so many levels.
I was going to make a show called My Dinner with Dennis. Now it's just not happening.
Nope.
Because of his stupid diet he's on. Stupid diet. Stupid. Yeah. Paul Taylor, hello. So yeah, guys, Lilith, Infernal Conflict, a dark fantasy epic which you need to go and check out now. In the 123rd layer of the abyss, Lilith, a fierce operative, must infiltrate layer 124 to assassinate Vexarion, a tyrant bent on enslaving her kind. Her kind. What do you mean by those people? You know, with razor-sharp talons and unyielding resolve, she faces relentless incubi and the deadly blade of dread, Surthar. Well, I swear I'll get that pronunciation right. Could you, Dennis, since you come up with these names I can't pronounce, could you spell them phonetically and email that to me?
I can do that for you, Andy. I'll put the dictionary version of this for you.
Of all the names, that would be so helpful. I mean, come on now. So anyhow, she needs to beat down the deadly blade of dread, Sarathar, in a high-stakes mission to destroy his power or die trying. Oh, the stakes are so high. And go check it out. And back, Lilith, Infernal Conflict. Guys, you can get into Lilith's big, beautiful box in this campaign. And you can get everything that comes in her box, including exclusive items like John Malin's black and white cover right there. Oh, would you look at that? Such goodness going on. John did such a fantastic job. Such a trooper coming through for us like he did. That is beautiful. Only in the box. Here's a big shot of everything. It comes in the box. Upper right-hand corner. Nice bookmark starring a new succubus character, Ysurcia. She has a little bit of flame power going on. So there's that. And then you can see the three main covers all come in the box. The black and white edition of the book. The whole book in black and white. It's kind of like you're reading old Savage Tales magazine. New First Man comic book. 28 pages. 8 pages of story, 8 pages of the pencils, and then 8 pages of the raw ink scans, like an artist edition. It's a fun little fight story I did. Explosive action that'll take you back to the 90s. And, of course, the 2-inch mini Lilith figure also is inside Lilith's big, beautiful box. So dive in and get that. And then, of course, we've got all the variant covers that you can get separately. And somebody actually brought up a good point in an email. So somebody asked me if on the, thank you, Dennis, it really does. Somebody asked me, let me pull up the graphic for it. So somebody asked if they want to get this. And this is the limited edition newsprint retro edition of the book. And they want to get it. And of course, we're like, fantastic. You should, because it's going to be printed on newsprint. It's going to have a throwback style with the coloring to kick it back old school to the great comics of the 70s and 80s. And it's limited to 100 copies, signed and numbered by Dennis and I with a certificate of authenticity. That is artwork I was working on today. And they said, well, I really want that. And I want the big, beautiful box, but I can't, this is limited to 100 and it can't be an add-on. So I now made the big, beautiful box an add-on to that retro edition of the book. So you can add on the big, beautiful box and save a little bit on shipping as well. So there you go. Nice, right? You're welcome.
In fact, I signed up for this ages ago, so I'm glad it's finally available. We are there for you, Paul, and thank you for backing.
That's right. Thank you so much for backing. So there you go, guys. So go check it out. We've got the calendar. 7 out of 40 are claimed. We're only doing 40 of these bad boys, and they'll ship in December. Nice core draft calendar to add to your wall for January 2026. Always feel the rage of core draft 12 months out of the year, except for February and Christmas. It's a little softer side because, it's Valentine's month and Christmas. So, but the other months, it gets down and dirty. So go check that out as well. And there you have it. So go back it. Here you go. John's cover and full beautiful color by Kyle Ritter. Beautiful team those guys make. So guys, go check that out. And we will talk more about that later. Let me check my DMs and see what is going on with, I don't know what's going on with Mr. Aaron Sparrow. Good Lord. Check your DMs, my friend. Man, oh man.
Why don't you play the trailer while we're waiting?
You know what? That's a fantastic idea.
It is indeed.
I'm going to play the Lilith trailer. Yeah. Great trailer by Good Stuff. That's what he goes by on X. So you can go follow him there. The dude is fantastic. So there you go. And yeah. So guys, go check out Lilith, Infernal Conflict, and make your day. And we did get a couple backers. So there you go. Thank you guys very much.
Randy putting out the PSAs already. For those watching on X and Twitter, all campaign links will be included as replies to this post. So that's right, guys. If you're on X, you can click down on it when you get a second, and everything will be listed right down below it.
That's right. All right. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Tomorrow.
For those of you guys that that didn't know, that didn't watch this live, I talked with Graham. Guys, we picked on Aaron a little bit, but I got my first slabbed 10.0. That's right. Look at that. 10.0. And if I'm going to get a 10.0, why would I not get a Graham Nolan, Joe Frankenstein? Look at that, guys. I've got a 9.9. I've got lots of 9.8s on stuff, but I've been looking for a 10.0. So I picked this one up from Graham Nolan. It's amazing, 10.0. It's actually usually on display. I've got it on display in here, but figured you guys would like that. That is awesome that Graham got a 10.0. Kind of jelly on that end of it because we have not gotten a 10.0 yet.
Got a 9.9, but not a 10.0. Graham is closing Escape from Monster Island on Thursday. So please join for that. After the movie, we are seeing the movie. Is it Weapon or Weapons?
Weapons.
Okay.
Dennis is becoming Lopez. Oh, the humanity.
I know.
I know. When Aaron came on, he goes, I heard you guys talking about it as I was walking out, and I was hoping I could get on because I wanted to say something, and he did. I was like, but Aaron, screw the 9.2s. Why get a 9.2 when you can have a 10.0?
Exactly. I mean, people come up to me and go, your buddy Dennis is cool and all, but you should really go get a 10.0 because right now you're looking at him at like a 5.5 and you could do so much better. And I'm like, you don't talk about Dennis that way.
That's right.
Harry says, Andy, the John Buscema Conan movie adaptation is great. Unfortunately, you grabbed the one with dark, crappy colors. I agree. The flat colored version's better. Graham is wrong. It rocks. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I have both versions. So last night on the Bros, and you can chime in with this, Dennis, your opinion. We were talking about comic book adaptations of movies. And hold on for a second here. And you know, I brought up like Conan, you know, and the magazine version, it's just it does look kind of muddy, at least on screen. Maybe that was the scans. I do like the comic book one they did after that, where they had it recolored and it was just flat color and stuff. And such. So, you know, that was a good one. Was it Aaron? I think it was Aaron. No, it was Graham that showed The Deep. Yes, it was Graham that showed the movie adaptation of The Deep. Have you seen that one?
Nope, that is one I don't own.
It is good. Like, it's funny.
Really?
We were joking how the movie's kind of bland, but this adaptation made it look so much better and such. And it was drawn by Carmine Infantino and inked by Sonny Trinidad, and it's really hard to tell it was drawn by Carmine. Not that that's a good or bad thing, just Sonny, you know, did a really nice job, you know, doing finishes and stuff over it. So I thought that was cool. What were the other ones? Of course, Dracula by Mike Mignola from back in the day was a nice one. Any movie adaptations in comic form stand out to you?
There's a number. Well, I know what my very first comic book adaptation was.
And
Star Wars.
Well, yeah. Okay.
It was. I still remember it. I was like, what the hell's this? I didn't even have any idea it was out there. I remember seeing it at the dime store when I was camping. And I was like, wow, that is pretty amazing. I am picking that up. And I did. It was cool. Paul says Empire Strikes Back, and I agree. I really like the Empire Strikes Back. They also did the Return of the Jedi. They did as a separate miniseries and stuff. But
yep, and both those were drawn by Al Williamson and looked freaking-tastic. So
Serge is asking for a noob like me. So is the book are the books signed before slabbing, or do they sign the slabs too? What do you put in to protect the signature? It's not worth. So there's a couple ways to do it. Most of the time, if you've got an existing book that's signed, you can just have it slabbed, but they'll do it as a qualified because it's just ink on a book. Doesn't matter who signed it. If you notice the gold label on this one, and I don't have one, I can look for one. You can see it's a gold label. That means it was witness signed, which means the signature is on the book, and then they encase it around it, and they tell you, in this case, it's signed by Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon on October 20th, 2023. So it tells you right on there where it's slabbed. So yeah, the signatures are protected. Now, if you've got a book that has an existing signature, you can go through CBCS and you can have them authenticate it. Now, there's an extra fee on that as well, but they submit it to a third party that specializes in signature verification. So say you got a Stanley signature book, you can send it in. I think it was 15 or 20, depending on the book, but they will verify the signature. And if they can verify it, then it comes back as a red label saying it's a verified signature. So that is indeed stands. Now, I sent in a number of books and that I had signed from way long ago, and they were all from the same person, and all but one came back as verified. I got the red label, but one of them said, can't be verified. What? It's literally was done at the exact same time. All the books were done. it is what it is. They couldn't verify the one. So then they said, do you want it graded? And I'm like, nope. So you have that option. So anyway, that's the story behind signatures on there. Most of the time when you're buying signed slab books, they're witnessed, either CGC or CBCS. I think PGX does it as well. So if you wanted Andy to have a book signed and witnessed, you could go up to his table. That company will send a representative over, watch Andy sign the book, and then you take it back to their table, and then you send it in to be slabbed, and then they go ahead and do that.
Well, there you go. I like it. Oh, nice. Don't sleep on it. You want to get it. It's going to be a collector's item for sure. Movie adaptation, The Land That Time Forgot. It was a Marvel Black and White magazine. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They did a lot in the Marvel Super Special series. That's why I was looking through. That's where I found the Conan one, Jaws 2. Aaron wanted me to pull up, so I pulled up Jaws 2. Yeah, they did a lot in there. First issue of Marvel Super Special was featuring who, Dennis?
Sorry, I was typing. Thanks for the great explanation. I don't know. What was your question? I wasn't listening.
Who was featured in Marvel Super Special number 1?
Marvel Super Special. Don't remember.
Kiss.
Oh, that was the Kiss issue?
Yes, it was.
Oh, nice.
See, Henry got it.
Yeah, so did
Randy
Randy.
got it.
Look at them. Yeah, that's one I don't have. I used to do a lot with the rock magazines and stuff, and I just don't do that anymore.
Oh. All right, hold on. Now I'm typing something. And then I'm going to pull up Aaron's campaign while we're waiting for him. All right, let's see. I don't know what's going on with Aaron Sparrow, but I'm going to give him a swift, strong, like they said in old days, tongue lashing, which means I'm going to dress him down. So get your minds out of the gutter. So this is the campaign that we will be talking about when he comes. Kneel Before Doomface. It's a great Kenneth Rocafort cover. Hopefully my volume should be, my sound should be shared, so I'm going to play the trailer. We did not talk about Outland. I totally blanked on that one, Ardevoy. All right, Dennis, let me know if you can hear this.
Betrayed, defeated,
Can you?
banished to timeless void for 40 years. But at long last, I have returned. And I will burn thy name in the firmament, so that when my enemies, when the whole world falls to its knees, to cry out whatever God will hear their pleas, they will see my name etched across the heavens, and know that I, Doomface, have been the architect of their subjugation. All shall kneel before Doomface.
Oh, yeah. Doomface.
But they never will.
Nice.
I'm feeling so hard that he can't be survived. Now behold, that time has arrived. And just imagine how it's gonna feel as you beg for mercy under my heel. Kneel before Doomface.
Got their own song.
Kneel before Doomface. You are gonna kneel again and again. Kneel before Doomface.
And now I want a custom song for Lilith. Damn it, that's freaking cool. Kneel Before Doomface. That's what Dennis would tell people in his frat in college. He would say, kneel before Doomface. And they'd go, who's Doomface? And he goes, I'm Doomface. Now kneel.
You know, that is cool. We need some band members of a band, some friends that can do that. Maybe he is part of the band that did it. I don't know.
I don't think so. Close Encounter. Yeah, I think Marvel adapted Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, they did. Actually, I didn't pull that one. Serge says, why do villains have raspy smoker voices? Because they all go to the Batman School of Villainy. So he trains them in order to put them in jail. So they all sound like Batman. There you go.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
So, guys, I did go pull while the video was playing. I pulled up some of the ones that I have that I really enjoy. I can show you those while we're waiting for Aaron.
Oh, let's see. Hold on. Oh boy, Buck Rogers.
Yeah, Buck Rogers. I've got Buck. I didn't pull Close Encounters. I'd have to go look for that one.
Aviator Surge says custom song for Lilith and her box. Sure.
Yeah. So that's Star Wars. That's both.
Oh boy, you got the oversized. You're so special.
I do.
Treasury editions.
These are my treasuries. Empire Strikes Back, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. A movie which causes great controversy within my family. 2001: A Space Odyssey. I
thought you were going to say The Crying Game.
No. 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is great stuff. I think the movie's very cool and interesting. My family was not as much of a fan of Stanley Kubrick as I was. They hate that movie, like with every fiber of their being. And
I mean, because it's so freaking slow and boring? Is that why?
Not at all. It's just a thinking movie. It's great.
Oh, that's what everybody says about slow, boring movies. Oh no, it's just you have to think about it.
No, it's a great movie. You guys in the chat, give me a thumbs up if you like 2001: Space Odyssey. Give us a thumbs down or a 2. If not, I'm sorry, Dave.
There's a Logan's Run 7-issue series. I don't know if it was an adaptation.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think that's a direct one. And of course, I did pull Battlestar Galactica, another great one that I really enjoyed.
Oh, that's cool. Let's see. Art of Roy says he likes half of it. I'm assuming about 2001, you like half of it, is my guess. I know I hated Close Encounters, that stupid spaceship flying around with that theme for half an hour. Ugh. I know I've seen it. I saw that a long time ago. I barely remember it. So it's not one I ever care to go back and rewatch is Close Encounters. So Aaron is on his way. He said, oh, okay. I popped in and no one was there. On my way. Backstage. No, he's not. Not unless I'm not. Okay, hold on.
Did you send him the right link? That would be the next.
I sent it twice.
Oh, I wonder if I've got that.
Let's see this link. Yeah, no, I sent it. So I just sent it again. So hopefully, Dennis, when you turn your camera off, you should have an icon so we just don't see that generic circle, At least when I turn my camera off. Now I'm saying that. Watch me be wrong. But let's see. There he is.
Was I in the wrong?
Oh my God. I don't know what you're doing. Aaron.
I
Aaron,
clicked
meet Dennis.
the link
Dennis,
and it took me to like a dead end. Like I was like, okay, well maybe they're not here yet. Maybe I was like, maybe he meant PST in his message, and maybe he just typoed.
no. George Perez did draw Logan's run. Okay. Aaron. I tell you, boy, you live on the West Coast and you still can't figure out the difference between that and East Coast time. I get it.
Well, if you're like me, you often tell people the wrong time. So I always give some leeway to people. It's like, maybe they meant to type this.
No, it's okay. You're here now. We actually played the trailer and such for it.
By the way, we love your music. Who did you have do that? Are you part of a band, or do you have friends that are part of a band that customed a song for you?
No, I have. So I have like a lot of friends that are in music. For example, I'm friends with Jesse Blaze Snyder, who's the son of Dee Snyder from Twisted Sister. He actually wants to do a cover of this with his band, and I'm like, I want to let you.
Wow.
But the song was actually, it was composed by Jim from Weird Science Comics, who comes on to Comics Aficionados with us every now and then, mixes it up. But he makes like, little dirty songs and things like that on his own channel. And he just kind of like said to me one day, like, I should do a theme song for it. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be great. And then took some, like we did some lyrics, and next thing I know, I had like 8 versions of that song. So there's actually a
wow,
like a sitcom version of the song as well, that at some point that I'll unveil, where it's like, you feel like you're tuning into TGIF, to watch Family Matters. But you're getting a Kneel Before Doomface sitcom.
That would be cool. Real quick, let me answer this. Art Roy says, was Man from Atlantis Buscema or Sutton? Sutton did the first issue. The first issue had another story in it after the main one by the regular series artist after that, Frank Robbins. So Sutton drew the first half of the first issue, and then Frank Robbins did the rest until the end of the book with issue 7. I've got all 7 issues that I bought as a kid. Love that book, Man from Atlantis. Good stuff. Have you even ever heard of that before, Aaron? You're kind of a young guy.
I have heard of it. I'm checking out the chat right now. Oscar Carreno's in the chat, the colorist on Kneel Before Doomface. Welcome, Oscar. I have heard of it. I'm not particularly familiar with it, though. I don't know that I've ever read it.
Well, I mean, are you familiar with even the TV show? The
Man from Atlantis? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I've never seen it.
No, I have seen it. It was what's his who's the star in it?
Patrick Duffy.
Patrick Duffy, thank you. Yes,
That's
I am
right.
familiar with it. I have seen it. It's been years and years, but I have seen it.
Yeah. I dug that show. I thought it was cool. All right, well, let's talk about Kneel Before Doomface. Like I said, we played the trailer. So now you can tell us about Kneel Before Doomface.
Well, thank you for having me on, first of all. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
We got to hang out a little bit in San Diego. Well, I got to hang out a lot in San Diego, actually.
I know. At our other friend Aaron's table booth. So
I just get to keep taking it over and
I know.
Get out of here, Aaron. What are you doing?
You kick Presti out of his own booth?
Yeah, we're like, oh, go buy some comics or something.
Look, it's not like he was there at the booth a lot anyhow. He probably could have done better if he actually was slacker.
Well, actually, you think you do better if you stay at the table, or do you think you do better if you make appearances at the table? When people feel like you're more exclusive.
Oh, that's true.
Like, oh, he's going to be here between 4 and 6, and you're like, oh.
Well, that's what he should do. And then when he walks away, even though somebody's there, he should have a sign up that says Aaron will return at, and then, just put some time down, because then they'll be like, oh, I got to make sure I'm back.
Yeah. Well, I like when people come up and they're like, are you Aaron? And I'm like, yes. And then
yeah, you're not even lying. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
100%.
But yeah, Kneel Before Doomface is it's a lot of fun. I'm having so much fun with it. It's the story of a villain from the 80s, like your stereotypical Skeletors, your Hordax, your Primevals. Think of a good 80s villain. And on the eve of his ultimate triumph, he was betrayed and banished and locked away in the timeless void, and he's been there ever since. And so now we fast forward to the very end of 2024, and a Ghost Adventures type reality show is actually doing a show from the lair of his nemesis. And they, through their stupidity, they end up knocking over a totem, which then shatters and releases Doomface back into the world. So, when we start off, he's, coming back into the very tail end of 2024 and immediately decides he wants to reestablish himself. But obviously the world has changed and is a lot more ridiculous than it used to be. So he has to kind of like learn to navigate that and learn to navigate all the changes, all of the villains that have come up, in his absence, including his own brother. So there's a lot of like rivalry there. And then we've got the B story, which is the story of two superheroes that are coming to the big city to try to help, make a name for themselves and help the populace of this crime-ridden city of San Francisco. And the conceit for their story is, well, what if breaking into the superhero business was like breaking into the modern day comic book industry, where you had to deal with all the personalities and all of the cancellations and all of the backbiting and, backstabbing and things that go on in comics. What if you had to deal with that even to get into, being a superhero? All you want to do is do some good work. And there's all these impediments in your way.
Yeah.
And so eventually those two stories will be like on a collision course. The heroes will be on a collision course with Doomface and with his major domo, Lexi.
Nice. Yeah, I remember looking at it because you had the preview book that you printed up that you brought some to San Diego, and I remember checking it out. So even though I've seen this before, just seeing it in print, I just love seeing stuff in print. So much cooler than on screen and stuff. So
it's nice because doing the preview books, I was kind of able to, it's like obviously I've done comics for a long time, and I've plenty of books go out and come in, but this is my first creator-owned book, so doing the preview was also a good chance for me to like evaluate the paper, the inks, the colors.
Oh, yeah.
So like it was a nice little bonus. So it came out gorgeous. Obviously, Renzo's doing a great job on art. Oscar's colors are fantastic, and they look really great on the page. So as good as they look on the screen, it's just there's nothing like seeing it printed and holding it in your hand.
Oh, that's cool. And then we've got, of course, you as the writer, Renzo Rodriguez on art and the colors, who's also in the chat, Oscar Carreno. Hope I pronounced that right. I think it looks cool.
If you're pronouncing it wrong, Andy, then I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. So, you were off of the hook.
All right. Well, good. I just want to make sure. And under the rewards, let's see, we got the $10 digital. That's nice. Very nice. Let's see, Face of Doom 15. This is cover A by Renzo. Cool. And now this campaign's technically in Kickstarter's version of In Demand, right?
Correct. Which is called late pledges, I guess.
Yeah.
So you can still pledge late. We have put in for backer kit to be approved. They asked for some changes. We made the changes, and they still have not approved it. Like that thing was supposed to go out like a week ago. Oh. So we're trying to like resolve with Kickstarter. Like, can you just give us the go ahead to do this? Because we want to, get our numbers back. We want to get everybody's final orders in. We want to make sure everybody's addresses are correct, and we want to go to print. It's like we. So what we've decided to do is as soon as we close out and we get everybody's numbers in, we go to print, we're going to send out the digital versions, because everybody who ordered digitally obviously gets a digital version. Everybody who ordered a physical copy gets a digital version. So we'll get it out to everybody so they can read it, see that it's actually complete while it's being printed.
Oh, okay.
Figured that was, for being a little bit late on the campaign, through no fault of our own. But you got to roll with these things.
You're using backer kit for like surveys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having an issue with something.
Yeah, they're having. Well, they have to approve it, and so there was a couple of minor things that they wanted fixed, and so we fixed them. My campaign manager took care of it, turned it around, sent it back to them, and now we just haven't heard back. We haven't gotten the approval to get everything out. So, I have a campaign manager because this was my first crowdfunded campaign, so it's like I wanted somebody who had done it before, and so it's been a little bit of a mess on the back end, but. Book's done. Weird. Book looks great. Yeah, no, I can attest. I've seen, like I said, I saw the preview and stuff. That's just so weird. I've never heard of that before, because their job is basically just to send out surveys, I thought. Yeah. And it's like, there's nothing there's nothing objectionable in the survey unless
Right.
I have to assume that it just has to be like some kind of internal breakdown with their workflow or
Yeah, that's weird. Well, anyhow,
the one guy who approves these has been out sick.
oh geez. Well, then you can get the welcome to San Fran's Angeles for $20. What made you want to merge those two cities?
Well, I just thought of so I'm on the West Coast. I live in California, and I was like,
Right.
what major metropolises have become the two biggest shitholes, in California, and so I combined them, and then I went back recently and I watched Demolition Man after doing the book, and I was like, oh, they did San Angeles, in Demolition Man, and I'd completely forgotten. So I don't know if that was
Did they
in the
really?
back of my head. Yeah.
Holy crap! I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I don't know if that was in the back of my head somehow, like in my subconscious, but mostly it was just I want to combine two cities, and both San Francisco and Los Angeles are absolute garbage now.
Right.
So what better name for a crime-ridden blue run city?
There you go. You can get the Access of Evil cover for $20, also by Renzo. Kind of classy, kind of hood, $20. By Renzo as well. Key to the Throne. This cover is by Nathan Watson and Oscar Carreno on colors. Very cool. Let's see. American Murder Machine by Nathan Watson. Man, you are packing it out with the covers.
I may have done too many covers. But
cover G.
I was going to say, you got a lot of really cool covers in there, but that is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. It is a lot. We did like a package deal where people can get get all of them, and then we said that any covers that we add to the campaign, if you had gone all in, you would get for free on top of it. So we did do an additional cover that everybody who went all in gets for free.
Oh, that's cool.
It'll be like our backer kit exclusive.
Yeah. Memoirs from the Void, cool, by Nathan as well. There's the Rocafort cover, Kneel Before Rocaforce. Covered by Kenneth Rocafort. Very nice. Very nice. And let's see. Then we've got Goodbye to San Fran's Angeles.
That features all four of our main characters with the.
Okay. That's cool. And Kneel Before Vintage. Nice. Gave it a weathered look.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, cool. So you're doing sets as well. So you can get a couple of the different covers as a set. That's nice, right? Is that correct?
Yep. And then the Memoirs of the Void is a making of. So it's got some behind the scenes stuff. It's got some character concept designs. It's got some stuff from the early 2000s featuring some of the characters that I had when I had first started to work on it.
That's cool. And that's a print edition as well. The memoir.
It is. You can get it digitally as well, but yeah, it is a print edition.
Cool. Very cool. Pick your doom. Nice. Pick any of the two Kneel Before Doomface covers, including Memoirs from the Void, up to $50 value. Very nice little discount there. Kneel Before Deluxe Digital. So that is what?
That's the Memoirs of the Void and the comic book itself. So you get both of those digitally, and if I'm not mistaken, because it's been a while since we set this up, I believe the Deluxe Digital gives you all the covers as well.
Oh,
so
nice.
In your digital file, you get every cover, so every piece of art.
Oh, very cool. All Shall Kneel. Now that's the one that you get everything in.
Yes,
you were talking about. So,
and then there's one that's like Total Doom, where you even get, because we even had a statue. Like we have a bust that I'm actually in the process of painting all of them right now.
Wait. So you've got 3 backers. So they're going to be fully painted when they get them?
Yep.
What if you had 100 backers?
Well, we limited how many. I think the most that I was like, I can do 10.
Oh, there's okay.
Yeah, there was
5.
like 5,
okay.
and then there was like 5 that were spread through other tiers. So it was like at max I was going to have to paint 10.
How tall is that thing?
It is it's about 6 inches. It's I don't have one here right by the desk, but yeah,
that's cool.
It's about a 6-inch bust, 5-6 inches.
Is there a larger shot as I'm scrolling? I'm probably going the wrong way.
No, there might be one down towards the bottom.
Oh, there's one right there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So is it a bust like this, or does it have legs and you just cropped it?
No, it's a bust. So yeah,
okay.
that's where it ends.
Wow, that's cool.
Although I did have the legs modeled as well, so later I could just plug them into the model and do a full size statue. But
And you're painting, man, even just painting 3 of them, man, good on you.
well, I mean, I do that all, like I paint stuff all the time.
Oh, okay.
I do so one of the things that I do, just one of my little side hustles, is my buddy and I, we 3D model action figure accessories, heads, armor, things like that for your action figures, so that you can customize them, make other characters, expand your collection outward. And so that's when we did the bust, I was like, well, I should paint all these and hand sign them and hand number them, so that cool. It's something special for everybody who is interested and wanted to back the book.
That is cool. Hey, Sean's asking, I've been hearing this book's name for a while. Looks cool. How long have you been working on it?
So we've been working on it for about, like, the idea's been around for a while, but we've been actively working on it for about a year.
Okay.
Because we started slowly at first. I started just gathering some artwork from Renzo. He wasn't available yet to do like a full book. So we were just kind of like building it out. And it was actually Lepresti who told me, he said, so what are you, like a year out from this? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you should start talking about it now. And I was like, really? Like a year before? Yeah. And he was like, no, you gotta start, like, it's gotta be in people's minds. And then when you're showing them stuff, stuff comes out and they see it, it reminds them and they get excited for it. And it was really great advice, because I don't know, I probably would have just done a couple of months lead time.
No, that's true. That's good advice. Yeah, that is nice looking. I'm looking at it, the larger size of the Doomface bust. That's cool, man. That came out good.
Yeah, so. It's really nice. And I think, I think people are really going to love the character. I think all the characters in here, they all have their individual quirks and things like that people can like and identify with. And if you've read anything that I've done before, like even like my Darkwing Duck work or Death Rage or any of the books that I've written, I always want the characters to be very distinct. I always want them to have distinct voices, and I think that's something that a lot of comics have lost now, because you have so many writers who are just writing from their voice, their perspective, and every character is them. And so I think we've lost a lot of the fun of having characters that kind of bounce off each other and brush up against each other. And, that it causes that friction and that tension.
Yeah.
That's where all the fun, all the comedy comes from.
That's right. Since we're doing everything kind of backwards today, because we talked about the campaign first, we usually like to start off with also just a little origin story and stuff of you. So, Dennis, would you like to kick that off like you always do?
Yeah, Aaron, since, we always want to talk about your origin in terms of how did you get involved into comic books in the first place, and, your road to that. But more importantly, you must have loved comic books at some point, which means you either bought one or somebody gave you a comic book when you were a kid. Do you still have that comic, and what was it?
I do still have the comics. The very first comics I ever got. The covers are falling off. It's like the the spines are all beat up. But so it's like when I was a kid, I liked to draw. And so my grandmother thought that she would encourage me. And so she would buy me comic books. She's like, oh, what does he like? He likes Star Wars. So she bought me some of the early Star Wars comic books. And I didn't really super get into them. I liked them and I read them, but it didn't create a habit. What kind of started it was I went to my great grandmother's on a vacation, and her neighbor bought all the Archie digests and DC Sugar and Spike and all the little impulse buys that you would get at the front of the check stand. Yeah. And she goes, oh, your great grandson's coming. Does he like comic books? And my great grandmother was like, well, I know he likes art. And she was like, well, I got all these Archie books and things like that. And so she gave me this giant box of Archie and Sugar and Spike, and I sat down and I just devoured them because I love to read. And so I started drawing some of the characters, and I was already kind of into the Garfield books. They would do those long kind of digests where they collected all the books. I was already reading those, and so I started drawing my own comics with Garfield as the Caped Avenger and creating my own villains and things like that. And because I now had an interest in making comic books per se, my grandmother was like, oh, let's encourage that. Let's buy him more art stuff. Let's buy him more comics. And so that started to happen. And then the G.I. Joe cartoon, well, not the cartoon, but the animated trailers for the comic books, which was how they got around not being able to advertise the toys. So they would advertise the comics, but they just so happened to have all the toys that were available right there in the animation. those started airing on TV, and I was already buying the GI Joe toys because I'd seen them in stores and spent some allowance money on them without really knowing any of the characters or anything. I was just like, these look cool. And so I started reading the GI Joe comic book, and then from there, that led me into X-Men and Marvel, and then I jumped over to DC, and then pretty soon I was like collecting and buying everything. So that's really how I got into comic books and just really loving the medium.
That's cool.
Who's your favorite GI Joe character?
So my favorite GI Joe character, like most people's would be Snake Eyes. But if you take Snake Eyes out of the equation, like my favorite Joe up until they revealed Snake Eyes was a ninja, and it was the 80s. Ninjas were the thing, But until that point, Stalker was my favorite GI Joe. And then I've always had a real special place in my heart for Flash because that was the laser rifle trooper, because that was the first GI Joe I bought.
God, I'm trying to remember Stalker. What that one looked like?
Stalker was so in the original line, he was the one that had the best camo. He's black. He's a ranger. He's got the beret.
Oh,
he's got the mustache, and then he's got the cool camo.
Oh, I think I know exactly. I think on one of the covers that Michael Golden did he draw him like just holding the? Oh, now I gotta Google it. Hold on.
I think I know the one you're talking about off the top of my head.
Let me see, because that totally rings a bell. Okay, so I don't know if Golden did it. Yeah, that's probably somebody else, but I do see him, and yeah, I recognize that guy.
Yeah, he was super cool, and I all the file cards on the backs were written by Larry Hama, of course, who was writing the comic book.
Yeah,
and so I was just intrigued by like his file card because it was before I was really into the comics. But it talked about how he was like in a street gang, and then he got into the military, and he cleaned his life up, and now he was like a ranger, and he seemed like a really compelling character to me. And so,
that's cool.
And then when I started picking up the comics, I was like, oh man, Stalker was like one of the main characters, especially in those early books. So I really got attached to him, and I liked Snake Eyes well enough, but then Snake Eyes was a ninja, and that just put it over the top.
Yeah, I like Snake Eyes. I like oh, there it is. Who did? Oh, Dennis, you found that?
Yeah.
That's the current classified figure, the retro version that they did that looks like the original. Good stuff.
Oh, that's cool. That is not the character I was thinking of then, unless on that image I'm thinking of, Michael Golden was like, I'm just going to draw this guy freaking huge. Which
you're thinking of Roadblock maybe? Because there's a
I'm thinking of Roadblock.
He's holding the 50 cal and
yes, yeah, I'm thinking of Roadblock. Yep, never mind. Yeah.
Hey,
that's
new
cool.
Sweet.
That's cool. Who's your favorite X-Men back then?
So my favorite X-Men when I first got in was Wolverine, because he's the one who actually got me into the comic, because it was the ad, I think it was for X-Men 207, where he's like slashing down the cover, and I was like, who is that dude? And I'd seen him in ads before.
I know that one.
And so I went and picked it up, and I guess the issue where he stabs Rachel, and I was like, what is going on? And so I started like buying the back issues and as well as the new stuff. So Wolverine was my favorite until I discovered Nightcrawler, and then Nightcrawler's been my favorite ever since.
Oh yeah, but Wolverine's miniseries is worth money, and Nightcrawler's isn't. So
no, although I have to buy Nightcrawler's miniseries for a friend of mine. She's super into Nightcrawler, and I was sending her some Nightcrawler art, and I sent her some of those covers. She's like, oh my god, the colors on those, the colors, everything's like so beautiful. And I was like, okay, so that's on the list, buy the miniseries for
yeah. I'm with Torchbearer. Out of the new group, I always liked Colossus, but I remember as a kid getting the Wolverine miniseries when it came out, and I mean, I think that thing, even within a few years, I think the back issue value of it just started going up. So, and I bought a couple of them, I believe. And then when Nightcrawler came out, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the next hot one. I think I bought like 3 of each one of those. And what a waste of money I did. That did not go anywhere. It's
sad because they leaned into kind of like the goofier elements with the Nightcrawler miniseries.
Yeah.
Which was fun. I mean, it's a fun miniseries. I'm not throwing shade at it at all.
No, it is, but it's just, I don't know. It was still a first miniseries for the character. You'd think you'd do something, but I guess it was just the fact that it was Claremont and Miller on Wolverine. And I know Dave Cockrum drew Nightcrawler. Who wrote it?
I want to say that want to say that Claremont
That wasn't
wrote it.
Claremont, was it?
Was it? I just had it up on eBay. Let me see.
Oh, it was on there. Yeah, I just thought I'd show you. I'm a Nightcrawler fan too. I don't get statues from everybody, but just the important ones. And love Nightcrawler, especially when he swashbuckles and throws his sword with his tail and he's a great character.
He's one of those characters that, like, I don't think that, they've attempted a couple of different costumes for him over the years, but he always goes back to the classic one. And I think it's
Right.
like, it's because they can't improve on it. Like, there's just some costumes that, like, you can't.
Yeah.
It's already the best it's going to be. What do
No,
you
I
got?
totally agree.
Nightcrawler and Excalibur did the best stuff. I'm like, yeah, Alan Davis, he killed it. I loved what he did with Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
Mhm.
totally. But yeah, I mean,
then Rachel
Nightcrawler's
Summers,
costume
like-
should not be messed with.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember they tried to do, like, they had Carlos Pacheco come in and they were like, well, we'll shave Nightcrawler's head so that he's like got a really close cropped haircut and he'll have like a little goatee and like the red will be like just like a sash, a swashbuckling sash that he wears.
Oh yeah.
And it was like all the elements were still kind of there, but it just did not work. It did not, it looked like 90s bro Nightcrawler. Did not
Yeah,
work.
you can't shave his head. I mean, come on now. That's just ridiculous.
He's got to have that mop of hair.
That's ridiculous. So then how did so you go to school and all that, obviously. Well, I mean, I should never assume. I'm assuming you have a high school diploma and not a GED. If
Yes.
you do, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with the GED. But, did you go to college or anything or what? What was the path
Yeah, I
to
didn't,
getting to going, I'm going to write some comics now?
Yeah, I didn't finish college because I had like a bunch of catastrophic things happen in my personal life that, like, where I had to go get like 3 jobs and just
Oh,
like
wow.
work. So that kind of like I kind of got derailed there. And then I had been derailed as an artist, as like a young artist. My grandmother was like, well, Aaron likes art, and there's this Marvel DC artist signing. I don't even remember who it is. I don't know if it was a name, but it was just somebody that she saw in the paper was doing a signing at this place. And she was like, I'll take Aaron, it'll be great. So I went and she's like, bring some of your art. And so I had some of my art and things like that. And this guy, like, I always, when I imitate him, I always do him smoking because that was kind of his attitude. He wasn't, but like, it's just like, he's like looking at my stuff and he just basically gave me the, you know what, kid, you don't want to get into comics.
God, I wonder who that was.
Yeah, there's no money in it.
Yeah.
In retrospect, like, it crushed me at the time, and I stopped drawing, and that's why, like, now
Sure.
I can doodle, but like I'm not an artist. Yeah, I was just totally crushed at the time. Now, as an adult, I look back and I go, "Oh, he was trying to save me a lifetime of pain."
a lifetime of pain and regret.
Yeah, because at that point, you worked for the big two, and that was it. That was the only 2 options available to you. Maybe
Right.
you could do some indie stuff, maybe like, because Comico was right around the corner and a lot of the indie companies that came up in the 80s and early 90s. But it was basically like you had to get into Marvel or DC in order to have a career or in order to even be like, paid attention to. And so,
Right.
And thankfully that's not the case anymore. Now you can go out and you can do your own thing.
Yeah.
It's very easy to go direct to consumer and cut out the middleman.
Yeah. So then what was the first stuff you started writing? Because it wasn't Doomface, I assume.
No, I was writing like various, like just little fan fictions for myself or for friends. I was in like a Transformers club, and I had a friend who was like, who somehow became in charge of like the Transformers fan club at that point, and was like, we need some fiction. Do you want to write some Transformers fiction for the newsletter? And I was like, sure. And so I started doing that. And I was immediately controversial even in that fan base because
Why? What the hell were you doing?
Well, it was falling, like every fan base seems to happen. It was falling to the shippers. So there were people that like, yeah, my Transformer is having sex with this Transformer.
Oh,
and
good
I was
Lord.
like, and I was like the guy that was like, Transformers having biological sex is stupid. They're machines. Like they shouldn't even really have genders.
Right.
Like I understand that RC is female in appearance and in voice and things like that. But
Right.
aside from that, it's a design specification. It's not a sexuality. And so like I was already pissing off people even back then, because I was making those points known, and of course in the stories that I was writing, none of that was present. I wasn't honoring anybody's ships. So the same thing that would get me in trouble with a very small group of lunatics later on Darkwing Duck was getting me in trouble with the Transformers fan club back when
Right.
when I was just writing for them. So that's kind of like how I got into it, and then I ended up I knew I still really wanted to create, and so I was like, well, the art ship has sailed. It would take me so long to like try to even get back to where I was. But like maybe I could write and or letter or do all kind of, and people were still hand lettering at that point. So
Oh,
that's
right.
why if I write you a note, you'll notice it's in all caps. It's because I just started writing in all caps because I was going to be a letterer.
So I do that when I write stuff, but I do it because when I went through the Cubert school, we had a class in hand lettering because, it was back in 88 and there was no computer lettering at that point. So we had a class in hand lettering. And even though I'm not that great of a letterer, ever since then, I just write everything in all capital letters,
Yeah, when I'm being lazy, I'll go to cursive. Like that's when you know that like I'm being quick and lazy. But
I have no problem admitting the only thing I can write in cursive is my name, my signature, which is illegible anyhow because it's a signature. I haven't written cursive in probably 25 years. I could probably pick it up. Like if I went to YouTube, as sad as it is, if I went to YouTube and it was like, how do you write cursive? I'm sure I could just watch one video and be like, oh yeah, that's right. And then just right back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, forget it.
I think they don't even teach it anymore. I think that they're like, no,
they don't.
No,
my daughter, which is stupid because the whole point of signing your name is not printing it. It's supposed to be cursive, which is a signature. So after you do it a lot, it can become illegible. It doesn't matter. But, when you and Dennis, I'm sure when you first learned cursive and you were like, now sign your name, you could probably read it, and then like I said, after time, it just becomes some type of squiggle and it's unique, which I think is fine, but they don't teach it anymore. So my daughter, when she has to sign something, she'll just kind of do this connected print almost where it's printed, but she'll kind of connect the letter. And it's just like, what do you teach it? And then they don't teach that. They want all these kids. This is my soapbox, even though she graduated 5 years ago. They, when she was in school, they all had Chromebooks and stuff that they gave out. They didn't teach typing. You want these kids to work on a computer, but you're not even teaching typing. I had a typing class.
Yeah.
In high school.
On a typewriter in typing.
Yes.
Yes.
Actual typewriter. Now it's keyboarding and they teach you that. But Randy brings up the point. I was going to mention this. The kids call it boomer code because they can't read it. Dude, we've got old letters that like between my wife and I, we've got family letters and stuff that we've kept for years. So many people, the kids can't read this. They have no idea what it says. We got a letter from over in Europe, and it's in cursive, and I can't read that. I was like, really? I mean, that's very legible in the first place, but nope, they have no idea what they say. So Denalian writing is like out the door.
When I was a kid,
that's bad.
My mom was a secretary, so she used to write things in shorthand. And so she would like write down like Christmas gifts and things like that in shorthand so that I couldn't read it. But I learned to read it and I never told her.
Oh, yeah.
I got a book on shorthand from the library and I learned enough that I could figure it out. Like now that all that knowledge is probably gone. I couldn't read shorthand today, but it's an important skill. Like that's your legal signature. I have one that I do. Like I can do a really quick squiggle signature that is like very stylistic and but I found that like when I would sign people's books and I would do that, like they look kind of disappointed. Like, it's like, oh, okay. And so now I just like write out my whole name in like, it's just kind of like a really quick, like fancy print.
Wait, when you sign something like, oh no, I mean, I came up with, in art school, I came up with a signature for signing stuff, but I was disappointed when I got George Perez to sign some postcards I had that he did, some DC postcards. And this goes back to like the mid 90s. And he signed them for me, but it wasn't the George Perez that you saw signed on a comic book cover. It was like his legal signature. And I was obviously, happy I got him signed, but at the same time, I was also like, you couldn't read it, right? I mean, you can't read it. So it's my word going, no, this is George Perez.
Yeah, no, I stood in front of him and he signed these in front of me.
Right.
It's like when you see like celebrities doing signings and their line is that like it's just like a quick like scribble that means nothing. And it's like, yeah, technically they touched a pen to your page.
Right.
So they signed it, but like to me, that's not a real thing. So like, I like I said, I just write out my whole name now because it makes people happy. Even though I have a much quicker, like an A into an S into a P, and then the rest of my last name. So it's just A Sparrow. I like more, but the fans don't. So
I think when it's signed, like mine's, you can. Well, I mean, I've been signing the same way for 30 some years, so people know what it is. But you can also see it's an A, and then Smith, and then I always do the last two, numbers of the year. But you can tell what it is and stuff. It's kind of artsy, but you can read it. Dennis is just a freaking mess. I could sign for Dennis and nobody would even know. So
yeah, I have craps. I should have been a doctor. My signature is perfect. So I've got the signature of a doctor, just not the other skill sets.
that's true.
Can you sign this, or is this my prescription?
Right.
Tanzafran. What is it?
My favorite signature story, Andy, you need to tell it, is the facsimile signature stamp.
Oh, from Byrne?
Yeah.
I met John Byrne. I've told this story before. I met John Byrne in the late 90s, or maybe, it was around 98, 99, something like that, at MegaCon. And, he was signing stuff. And a guy brought up a reprint because, I mean, John has so much stuff that's been reprinted. And Byrne goes, "Oh, reprint book, reprint signature." And he had a stamp made of his signature, an ink stamp. And he goes, on the book. And I was just standing there like, wow.
That's funny, but it's also kind of a dick move.
Man, because you're not walking away with the signature. So
right, like anybody could use that stamp. It's like the auto pen, right? Like anybody can do it.
Exactly.
Just go in there and just
Torchbearer says, you ever get Byrne's secret 15-second Batman sketch? I wouldn't call it a secret because you just asked about it. I never got one, but I know what you're talking about. John would also do quick, and he would say, it's like, oh, you want a Batman head sketch, and it's a profile, just grab a Sharpie. He would do it, take him no time, just bang it out real quick. So, but no, I never.
Some of the Darkwing characters for people, I've got like real quick ones that I can do for them.
Oh, that's cool. All right, we're gonna wrap it with this question because Dennis and I are actually going on another guy's show at 5:00.
Nice.
So in 20 minutes. But Joe wants to know, how did you come up with the name Doomface?
So I had the heroes already, but I knew I didn't want to do a book that was just about like these heroes because there were so many superhero books out there, especially in the indie sphere. Everybody's doing like their superhero indie book, and there's some like great stuff out there. And so I wanted to do something kind of different. So I was like, I wanted a villain focus. So I just started coming up with different villains that they would fight, and I realized that I wanted a very Dr. Doom type of villain. And I was like, but what do you call him? And I was like, man, I really want Doom in there somehow. And then the idea of him being the face of your doom just kind of led into him being Doomface. And then he would, belabor the point by saying, "For I am the face of your doom." It's kind of like a bit of humor that I like is when something is repeated that doesn't necessarily have to be.
Right.
Like in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, where Captain Hammer makes the whole thing about like, I'm going to show her the hammer. And then, and these are not the hammer. And then he leaves. But then he has to come back and go, the hammer is my penis. Like that makes me laugh because it's like, yeah, we got it, we get it, but like you have to belabor the point. So that's where Doomface came from.
No, that's cool. I like it. I kind of thought that when I heard Doomface, their Dr. Doom was worked in there somehow. I think it's cool, and because the book has kind of a humor bent to it, I think that works. I love stuff like that. So
it's very politically incorrect. So it's we're going for a not in the sense of how like. South Park is like a crass comedy, but like, and we're not going necessarily for that, but we are going for the everybody's fair game, everybody's sacred cows can be roasted. We're going to make fun of everything. So if you like the Venture Brothers, if you like the Tick, if you like Sam and Max, or even like my work on Darkwing, you'll like this. Hopefully, it's like I said, it's a lot of fun. It actually does have stakes. It's not just all comedy. It can be absurdist, but it can also be very serious. So it's a real weird line that I'm walking with this one, but I think we're pulling it off.
That's cool. Well, guys, he's 100 and, or no, not 100. He's $94 away from 23,000. So you picked up a couple. So go back, Kneel Before Doomface. And don't miss out. When are you actually pulling this sucker down? You said as soon as you can get the survey stuff worked out, you're going to...
As soon as we get all the backer kit stuff worked out, and we finalize our numbers for print, we'll pull it down. The pre-launch for the second campaign will go up, and we'll be ready to ship those out as soon as they come in.
There you go. So go check that out. And of course, guys, go check out Lilith Infernal Conflict, a dark fantasy epic starring everybody's favorite succubus, Lilith. She's hot and she's vicious, and she will rip your heart out, literally. Lilith's talons carve a bloody path through the abyss to crush a new threat, Demon Lord Vixarion. Guys, go check it out. We've got lots of great stuff. The biggest one is Lilith's beautiful box stuffed with everything, including 2 exclusives. The John Malin variant cover in black and white is exclusive to the box only. And so you can see a larger size of it. There it is. And then, of course, we also have the Yacercia bookmark, which is also exclusive to the box. And this time around, we're giving you, with the box, the 2-inch Lilith minifigure as well. So, guys, go check it out and read about it. The links for both these campaigns are in the description below.
I was going to say, if you're on YouTube or Rumble, they're in the description. If you're on X, Randy has dropped them down in the comment section. So everything's right there in X as well. So all platforms are covered, everybody.
That's right. And we're catching Weapons tomorrow night, and we'll have the review up tomorrow night or Friday morning. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our fantastic movie reviews from your 2 average guys that'll tell you the truth on whether you should see the movie or not.
That's right.
So, until then, we'll see you guys next week at 3:30, and Dennis and I will be on Devil Flyers YouTube channel at 5 o'clock. I posted the link. Let's see if I still have it where I can hit paste. Yes, I do. I'm posting it again right now. There it is. All right, guys. We'll catch you later, and hopefully see you at 5.
Yep. Live long
Thanks,
and
guys.
prosper. Nice meeting you, Aaron.
Yeah,
Yep.
good to meet you. Thanks for having me on.
Bye, everybody.